What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Screwdriver. My name is Steven. Today is a very exciting day because that's right, we're starting the wide body finally. We're going to start with the front fenders today, and this is probably going to be, I can't decide if I'm going to make this one full video or if I'm making a couple parts, but just know it will be over the course of a couple days. Right now it's a Tuesday night, about 7 o'clock. Just got home from work, and we're going to start cutting, and I think I'm going to start with the fronts. So anyways, let's get into today's video. Very, very excited. This has been a long time coming. So if you do like today's video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, because this build is only just getting started. All right, so here we have it. We've got the front over fenders, and luckily I just replaced my front left fender, the driver's side fender. So I've got this old fender to practice my cuts on. But anyways, we're gonna do the first practice cuts on this driver's fender. And then the first fender I'll actually do will be the passenger side, just make sure it's all done right. And then afterwards, we'll do the driver's fender. And then of course the quarter panels I'll do last. That requires some welding, which you guys have seen in the last videos. I've got the welder, I've got everything ready to go for that. I'll need a little bit more time for that, so I don't want to do anything tonight, but I'll probably start on that this weekend. Anyways, let's get straight into today's video. All right, so I got my practice cut in and realized what not to do. Really, instead of going right down here at the bottom of the fender, I probably need to come up to about right here and then swoop in and go down the body line up until pretty much where the bumper mounts. But anyways, I'm actually do it on the passenger side fender now. All right, so got the wheel off, got the fender liner set back, bumper dropped, and I've got my first cut line going pretty much right above where the fender liner clips in at the bottom here. I'm gonna go in a little bit and swoop up the body line of the fender, and that'll be my first cut. I think that should be enough for me to cut. If not, I can cut a little more, but you can always cut more, can't always cut less. So anyways, let's get to it. Time for a new blade. Okay, so change of plans. This thing is way too violent. I'm not used to using it, and my cuts aren't going so well. So really I need to be coming up right through here, and it's kind of zigzagging and all that. So I went and bought myself some new tools, so let's try those out. All right, so I went and got myself a Dremel, bunch of Dremel blades, and a reciprocating saw, and some metal blades. Well, actually I only came with one metal blade, so I might have to go back to the store and get some more. But anyways, I think this is gonna be a lot better for what we're trying to do and get us some cleaner cuts. All right, guys, those tools were way better. As you can tell, I'm not good at cutting metal, so I'm definitely gonna have to clean this all up with a grinder. But anyways, I think I got it cut where I need it to be, and so I'm going to go ahead and put the over fender on there and see how it lines up. Take a look. You can tell that the fender liner is going to need to be cut, obviously, so I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do with that. But I think my cuts are exactly where I need them to be. Obviously, this is the replica front fender, so it's not going to fit exactly perfect, but once I get everything drilled in and screwed in where it needs to be, I think it'll pull it much more flush to the fender. And then I think I might need to get some weather strip to go around it, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's keep putting this thing on. All right, so we can't forget the important thing with my car is making sure it works with the vertical doors, and without even being drilled on there, I can tell this is going to be just fine. I was a little worried about the thickness right here with the fender poking out more. I think I need to bring it back just a smidge, just to line up a little bit more flush with the fender, but from what I can tell, the vertical doors are still gonna work. All right, so I think I got it where it needs to be. I've got the bumper mounted back on there, and I think I've got everything lined up where I need it to be, and the vertical doors will still open and close without hitting the fender, so that's good. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start drilling, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. I guess I should rephrase that last part. I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna do that. Not saying this is the right way, this is the way that I'm gonna do it, and hopefully it's good. All right, so I'm gonna start with a 1/8 inch drill bit, and then I'm gonna move my way to a 5/16. All right, so now I'm just putting my rivet nuts in there. I just did one for practice down here right in the middle of the fender. Well, it took me way longer than I really wanted to. It is nearly 1 o'clock in the morning right now, way past my bedtime, but I've got the driver's side, or sorry, I've got the passenger side fender. I'm so tired right now. I've got the passenger side fender on and got the new wheel on. It's actually the wheel for the rear because the front tires have not been mounted yet. They're at the tire shop. I'll pick them up tomorrow. So I just went ahead and threw a rear one. This still has a 25mm spacer, so it might be a bit much, but anyways, check it out. That's right. We got the wide body flare on the front fender. It's actually really not that bad for being, you know, a knockoff Rocket Bunny V1 front fender. Now, of course, we've got the Rocket Bunny V1 rear fenders, but we'll get to that later on. But anyways, check this out. I'll be honest with you, what took me the longest was actually doing the rivets. I've never done rivets before, and I was having a lot of issues with the rivet gun that I'm borrowing. And, you know, I just had to really familiarize myself with that. It was a struggle. I don't have the front rivet on the one right in front of the bumper cover right here. I'm letting it settle a little bit, and I know I need to get some weather stripping, so that's the last one I got to put in. And once I bend that down, it'll fit on pretty much perfectly there. So one thing I'm really trying to decide is, do I put this piece on? So, you know, it would pretty much go like this, down onto the front cover. However, I've got my quick release button, my turn signals, and I've got my TRD authentic canard. It's got metal shavings all over it right now, but never mind that. Anyways, I kind of like this look right here, without the, you know, cover going, or the fender going down into the front cover. I think it's pretty clean looking. I can always go back and add this, but for right now, I'm gonna run it like this. Tomorrow, we're gonna do the driver's side. Hopefully with all my practice from tonight, I'll be able to do that way quicker. And of course, we'll get into the quarters after, but see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, it's night number 2. It's about 100 degrees outside right now, so a little bit hotter than last night, but luckily it's about 7:45, so the sun will be going down pretty soon. Anyways, we're gonna start on the driver's fender right now. Hopefully with my practice from doing the passenger side fender last night, this one will be a little bit easier and go a little bit smoother. But anyways, let's get to it, round 2. All right, so this one's gonna hurt a little more because I literally just put this brand new fender on the car, just had it painted, not even a week ago, just a few days ago, I put this thing on the car. But anyways, the only reason I got the new fender is because this one was junk and I needed something new with no dents, something that'll be flush and my door won't hit. So anyways, I've already got my pre-cut line right here. I just drew that with a Sharpie. That should be a pretty good starting point. And we're gonna start off with the reciprocating saw tonight because we know how the grinder went starting off last night. So hopefully I should get some cleaner cuts. Anyways, let's get to it. All right, guys, I didn't film much because I don't really know if this is necessarily a how-to video, but I've got the driver's side fender on the car, and oh my gosh, it looks so good. One thing I really wanted to mention was when you guys saw the hardware and saw me do the rivets last time, I actually didn't put these little end caps on, the black pieces, which is kind of why I got this hardware to begin with. I just didn't open them and didn't see them in the box, so I went back and uninstalled the rivets and went ahead and put the black hardware on the outside of it. It's really, really sweet, and of course when these fender flares are painted, the black hardware is really going to stand out a lot more. But yeah, it was a lot to get these front ones to fit. Next are going to be the rears. I plan on doing that this weekend. What I did do so far is I've left the front bumper end caps off. Well, I was trying to decide if I was going to keep the canards and the turn signals, the side markers, and the quick release button, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to put the front bumper pieces on. I might do that tomorrow. Not 100% sure yet. I mean, I can always go back and add it if I want to, but I think it would really complete the look. But anyways, this is what the front looks like so far. I've got the front tires and wheels at the tire shop right now being mounted. So of course I put those on when you guys saw me test fitting last time. Those were the rear wheels. So the front wheels and tires will be up here. I'm running a 245, 35/18 up front, a 255, 35/18 in the back. But anyways, really looking forward to that. It's getting kind of late. This is night number 3. I had to go to the store last night. I had to get a new rivet tool. I was using my buddy's, and that was my first time doing a rivet tool, and I really didn't want to mess up his, so I got my own. Got all my new tools here. I've got an air compressor coming. I've got air tools ready for the rear. Just having to add stuff as I go. As you guys know, whenever you're doing your own project, you can never count on having all the right things right off the bat. You might have to pick some stuff up as you're going, but this is the best project I've done so far on my car. I'm really, really, really excited about it, and I can't wait to do the rears. See you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, it's now Saturday afternoon. I've been working pretty much every night on this car up until about, between 11 and 1:30 in the morning. And last night, Friday night, I was actually able to get the bumper pieces on the front and put the new front wheels and tires on the car, and it looks amazing. I'm gonna show you guys right now. All right, there we have it. I'm so glad I went with the front bumper pieces as well. There was too much going on with the canards and the quick release button with the turn signals, but oh my gosh, it's coming to life, guys. I'm at a loss for words. When I finally got the wheels on last night and I lowered the car back down, I just sat there and looked at it with the biggest smile on my face for like 30 minutes. Not even saying anything. I was just so happy. Obviously it's not perfect. There's a lot of adjustments I need to do. Not everything's sitting flush, but that can be expected with the fronts, with these being the, the knockoff Rocket Bunny V1 fronts. Of course, we've got the authentic Rocket Bunny V1 rears, but the fronts actually came out really, really well. Anyways, I'm gonna back the car in the garage and we're going to start on the rears today. All right, so like 2 hours had passed since that last clip. I'm sweating like crazy. It is another really, really hot day. Of course, I waited over a year to do this and waited until it was really hot in the summertime, so go me. But anyways, I had to do a couple of things to the front. I pulled it out of the garage and it was scraping like crazy, so let me show you what I had to do. All right, so on the front, I actually had to change the spacer, so the wheel fitment isn't as good, but it still looks, it's pretty flush, and the good thing is I can lower the car a little bit if I want to, maybe about a ½ inch or so. But anyways, when I was turning the wheel, it was hitting everything up front, so I had to cut more off of the fender liner, and I had to cut some of the front bumper on the side there, where the old fender liner, where the fender liner mounts to. And then I went from a 2-inch spacer to a 25 millimeter 1-inch spacer. So much better. It's not scraping. I might hear it hit the fender liner just a little bit, but this is going to be, constant adjustment and everything. My fender is dented. The door hits it a little bit, so I'm going to adjust that. But anyways, I got the car up in the air, and it's just me here, and I'm about to start the rear. So I think I'm going to start on the passenger side. I went in and got an air compressor, so I've got that. I've got some air tools, and we should, knock on wood, hopefully be able to make some cleaner cuts in the back. This is the really important part, so let's get into it. All right, so as I've mentioned, we're actually going with the authentic V1 Rocket Bunny Pandem wide body fenders for the rear. This is going to be awesome. I've already tested them multiple times on the car, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to tape it up here, and we're gonna take some measurements, begin drilling holes, and then I guess start cutting my car. All right, so I got it mocked up on the car here, and I've been doing a lot of adjusting and taping. It's kind of hard with just one person, but I think I've got it where it needs to go. The thing I've been testing the most is the gas cap. So I'll come over here. We're gonna pop the gas door, and we'll make sure we've got it in the right spot, that it's not hitting anything. And I'm able to put really expensive gas in my car. And so far, so good. Looks like it. I do like how it's kind of sitting with the body line right here. And oh my gosh, look at how wide that is. Just really hoping these wheels end up working out. I do like how the fronts poke out a little bit, but they're kind of up under the fenders, but at least they're coming off the sides still. I think I can still lower the car up there, but anyways, like I said, we're gonna have a lot of adjustments to do. All right, so what I need to do now is I need to go up under here and measure exactly where I need to cut, which I think is gonna be on this body line right here. And then the moment of truth will be, actually cutting the car and welding it. I'm really, really nervous, but we're this far into the project and we're gonna do it. So anyways, let's get our line on there, and I'll probably end up drilling the holes right there first. I'm gonna watch a couple of videos, make sure I'm doing it the right way. Anyways, let's get to it. Well, I want to say I'm past the point of no return, but technically I could still turn back. I just have a lot of holes in my quarter panel, but oh my gosh, that felt so good and so bad and so nerve-wracking all at the same time, drilling holes into my baby. But anyways, I'm gonna pop this panel off, we'll put the rivets in, and then the fun begins. Now that we have holes, it's time to drill bigger holes for the rivets. All right, we got the holes in the car. Oh my gosh. All right, well, that went smooth. That's the easy part. I'll put the rivets in there next. All right, so I got my rivets all set in place. These actually went in really, really easily. I'm actually getting pretty used to the rivet tool. Like I said earlier in the video, I'm using this one here. It's pretty simple to use. You just gotta realize that you don't have to squeeze the arms all the way together. Maybe when I do the other side, I'll show a little bit of the rivets. But anyways, the next step is we need to measure and cut the quarter panel. The compressor that I showed you guys earlier, I tried hooking it up to the air saw. It barely runs that air saw, so I need to go exchange that and get a stronger compressor. So we'll be right back. All right, so I got my new compressor. So we'll test this one out. This one is a 8-gallon with a little bit higher PSI. Seems like it runs the tool a little bit longer. But anyways, we're going to start cutting the car, I think. I went ahead and made a little test line right here, pretty much right on the body line of the quarter, so we'll start cutting right there. All right, guys, good morning. It is now Sunday morning. I was able to get the right side done last night. Well, pretty much done. I still got some adjustments to do, which I've been doing. I didn't film the entire thing because, one, I'm just trying to figure it out on this side. But, I got the welding, cutting, grinding, all that kind of stuff done. It wasn't pretty, but I think I got everything held in place. I still have a lot to do with it as far as like sealing and everything goes. I just put some Flex Seal on it last night. It's a bad idea, but I'm gonna end up grinding all that off. And I'm gonna get some real seam sealer. I'll probably buy it from my work. So, I've got the real stuff, but some cavity wax. I'll probably do a can of cavity wax inside of each quarter. And, just make sure all my welds and everything are holding. But that's literally the second time I've ever welded, and it was on my car. I was actually pretty proud of myself. I got all the tabs from the wheelhouse welded to the quarter. I know everything that I did wrong. Well, I think I know everything that I did wrong. So for the driver's side, I think I know a little bit better what to do. So I'm gonna try and film some of that. Again, this video is not a tutorial. I do not recommend you doing this to your own car. I'm learning on my own car. This car I'm keeping forever. It's my baby. And I'm just so proud of myself for actually attempting to even do this by myself, no help at all. But anyways, let's get into today's video, which is we're going to cut the left quarter and put on the wide body kit on that side. Let's get to it. But before we start the left, let's take a look at the right here. I've got the Rocket Bunny fender on there. Oh my gosh, it fits. The rears fit so much better. The rear is the authentic V1 Pandem USA Rocket Bunny kit. The cool thing about the newer version of the kit is this used to be a separate piece for the rear bumper. Now it actually comes all as one, which I was actually surprised about because the website I ordered from, advertised it still as a 4-piece rear kit. It's actually a 2-piece rear kit, so it makes the fitment way, way better. But oh my gosh, it is so aggressive. The last thing I had to do was shave some of my bumper off down here because the wheel was rubbing. like I said, it's gonna be constant adjustment. I'm gonna end up having to lower my car a little bit more. You know, I've got the adjustable coilover, so I'll be able to do that. But really, I just want to get everything done. You know, all the side skirts, front lip, everything on the car. But anyways, let's get to the left. So same thing as the right side. The left, I'm going to, you know, to obviously take my wheel off and drop the bumper and everything like that. But, you know, mock up the quarter panel, the over fender on the rear quarter panel over here. Put where I need all my holes to be drilled. Go ahead and drill the holes, put the rivets in, and then we'll start cutting and welding. So I'll film a little bit more of that and show you guys what I do with welding the quarter panel. Let's get to it. All right, so just like the other side, got that quarter mocked up, and I'm just going to start drilling my initial holes. Like I said, I'll start out with a 1/8 drill bit, then I'll move to the 5/16, put the rivets in, and that's cutting and welding time. I've told you guys this in almost every video recently. Every time I'm doing something crazy is going on outside. The neighbor just decided he's going to have, I guess, his whole house pressure washed or something. So anyways, that's the background noise. But all right, so I got all my holes drilled. I got the larger holes drilled in the body panel. I did that with the kit off of it, and then I drilled the larger holes in the kit, mocked it back up, and then here's where I'm going to pick my line for cutting. What I messed up big time with last time is I cut straight through here instead of just the outer part. So I actually cut into my wheelhouse on the other side. Had to weld it all back together. And I'm gonna really, like I said earlier, I'm gonna really need some better sealant. But anyways, it's neither here nor there. So basically I'm gonna start with my cut right here, and then basically I'll draw a line. You end up wanting to go like a couple of millimeters above this body line here, all the way back here, and then that should expose our wheelhouse, which will make our cuts into the wheelhouse to weld to the quarter panel. But anyways, let's go. Another thing is I went back to my cutoff wheel. I just got some much thinner blades for the metal. All right, I'm actually okay with this. My cut was way cleaner this time. I mean, I was bouncing around all over the place, but compared to the other side and compared to my fenders, I'm actually pretty satisfied with this. I did hit the wheelhouse right here, but I mean, I'm gonna be cutting through here anyway and folding it up for the welds. But yeah, way cleaner, way better of a line. It's gonna be a lot easier to weld this side. And of course, I'm gonna grind all the paint off on this side and, you know, trim everything down. And then I'll cut the wheelhouse and roll it up, weld it, shave off the rest, temporarily seal it until I know exactly how I'm going to seal it, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, you know, for me, I've never really cut metal before, other than, like I said, just my fenders. I'm actually happy with this. I'm satisfied. I feel proud of myself. Yeah, it's a weird feeling cutting your quarter panel off. All right, so I got the compressor running, so now I'm just gonna grind some of the paint off this metal here so we can begin the cutting and welding. All right, so got the paint ground off. I'm just gonna cut some of this excess metal off now, and then I'm going to go ahead and begin cutting the slits into the wheelhouse, folding them up, and then we'll weld it to the quarter panel here. All right, so this is what it looks like once you cut all the slits in the wheelhouse. This is just so sacrilegious for me because, you know, usually where I work, we're fixing things like this, not destroying them. But anyways, it's necessary for the job. You can see all these flaps right here. So we're gonna bend these up, and we're gonna tack weld them to the outer quarter panel here to get a, you know, nice seal on there. And then we'll put some sealant and go from there. And I don't know how many times I've said this video, but do not do this at home. This is a bad idea. I know I'm doing it at my house, but this isn't a tutorial. This is just me showing you guys what I'm doing. Make sure you read instructions, look at videos, or just get a professional to do it. Anyways, let's get to it. Also, I started earlier this morning, and it's early afternoon now, and it's hot. All right, pardon my mess, but I'm all over the place. Got my welder hooked up. I've also, since I've got the air compressor, I went ahead and hooked up a hose. Oh, hold on, I gotta turn it on. Yeah, I hooked up my hose. That way, you know, if it gets too hot, I can kind of clean up as I'm going. But anyways, let's start welding. All right, I've got the panels bent up, and we can start welding. All right, so I don't have the best welding skills, but as you can see, I'm just tacking the panel to each other. And then, you know, of course, after we get through all these, we'll make sure everything gets tacked up nicely on there. We'll cut all the excess metal off, grind it down, and kind of go from there. This is my third time welding. First time was on a practice panel on a rocker panel that we had. And yesterday I welded my other quarter panel, so this is literally time number 3. I would be lying if I said it is not fun welding. Now my welds are not good, but they are holding. We've got it all welded up here. I had to go back and re-weld some of it, but it's all tacked on there. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all this excess metal off and then probably grind some of it down and then start applying the sealer. Now of course when you do this, you cut into your fender liner as well. So I need to come in here and cut all this out and kind of just go from there. All right, now that I got my ugly welds ready to go, I'm going to start grinding some of this down. I don't want to grind too much because I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to grinding, but at least smooth it down a little bit. I just don't want to grind out my welds. But I mean, they're holding, so I'm happy about that. And then we'll start sealing it temporarily. All right, so it's not pretty, but honestly, it doesn't have to be. I've got it all sealed up. I use some seam sealer. And, you know, obviously I just put it on there, but it looks like I've got all the gaps, all the cuts, all the welds filled. So nothing can get in there. I see like one little hole right here, which, you know, I'll go back and go over on that. But for the most part, I'm just going to shine a light up in there, make sure all the cracks and holes are filled. This is, believe it or not, better than the other side I did. I had a lot more holes and everything to fill just because of accidentally cutting into my wheelhouse right at first. It left a larger gap, so you know I got to go back and fix that. But I've got it sealed up pretty good, so I'm gonna let this dry here for a little bit and sand it down, maybe put another layer on, and then it's time to fit the body on there. All right, so I got the inner fender liner cut off. Basically, I just cut that basically up to where I cut the inner fender liner. And as you can see right here, it's all cut, set back. I still have to go back and grind all that down. I'm gonna give it a couple days before I grind that. It's already starting to set, it's drying. All right, so I got my hardware ready to go. There's 15 rivets, so I'll need 15 each of these right here. This is the Z-Spec Design wide body hardware. I went with the black, and let's get it on the car. All right, guys, well, I got it bolted all up. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Full transparency, I really suck at rivets. Like this one, it got stuck in there. I literally had to cut the bolt head off. This one kept popping out down here, so I had to reset that nutsert. But anyways, I got them on there. It looks absolutely amazing. I mean, look at how wide that is. Obviously, the car is completely filthy. It's covered in weld slag and dust and metal. I had to sweep up some of it down there and start cleaning it up a little bit. But anyways, I'm gonna put the wheel in the car, and then we're gonna see if this thing is drivable. And the reason I say that is because when I finished the fronts, well, at least when I thought I finished the fronts, I pulled it out of the garage to turn it around to do the rears, and it started rubbing like crazy. And I had to go back yesterday and completely change the wheel spacers up front and also shaved down some more of the bumper and the fender there. Still making a little bit of noise, but I think it might be the fender liner, which I have to find a solution for fender liners now. It's all rigged up down there. It's not good. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with the fender liner. Luckily, fender liners aren't very expensive, so I can kind of play around with those. Then when I pulled out the rear this morning to put it back on the jack stand to do the left rear, I heard it rubbing like crazy, which is why I had to go back and shave that bumper. So this time, I cut the bumper on that side as well to make sure it fits. Anyways, we're gonna put the car on the ground and, see if it's rubbing. Well, guys, it's done. Well, it's at least together. It's driving. I just drove it up and down the road, and Sarah and Tony kind of gave me a listen, and they could tell me what was scraping a little bit. I ended up shaving a little bit more of the fender liners off, but it's still scraping a little bit, especially when I'm going over bumps up and down my road. I can kind of hear it rubbing, but I'm pretty sure I'm just rubbing on fender liner. So I just got to figure that out, figure out a fender liner solution. But oh my gosh, look at how wide we are. Obviously fitment isn't perfect, but I'm really, really happy with these wheels. This is definitely my style. I cannot wait to get the kit painted. I mean, my car is completely covered in dust and metal and weld slag, and the interior is really, really dirty as well. So I'm about to clean it off and kind of look at it one more time, but my gosh, I am really, really happy with the way this is coming out. Obviously, I have a lot of adjustment to do. Got to fix a couple of the rivets up front, make it sit more flush. I'll end up doing the weather stripping, but I'm going to do that when I have a little bit more time and have an idea of how I want it to look and come out. But wow, I'm just at a loss for words. I'm really, really proud of myself. Really, really happy with the way this came out. And I'm just gonna take a minute to look at it, wash it, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I got it all cleaned up. It still needs a lot to come off of it. I need some adhesive remover and stuff from where I was taping it. And obviously we still got some work to do, but I'm driving it to work tomorrow. I already decided I'm gonna take it on a test drive, make sure everything is fine and not scraping way too bad. But oh my gosh, I'm just at a loss for words still. I'm just so happy with it. Can't wait to see, where it goes from here. Obviously we'll get all the panels painted and kind of go from there. I don't know if I'm gonna wrap it or what, but still got some adjustments to do. I might go a little bit lower. And of course, don't forget we've got the front lip and side skirts to go on the car as well. So that's gonna give it a little bit more of an aggressive stance. Just can't wait to see what it looks like. And with that being said, guys, I can't wait until the next video. I think next video will be putting the front lip and the side skirts on, maybe getting the suspension dialed in. But for right now, I'm just going to enjoy looking at it and go drive it around a little bit, make sure everything's fine. This is obviously a big project, a work in progress. This is the biggest project I've ever done in my life on a car, pretty much anything. I've never done anything like that before, so really proud of myself. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. To the supporters who have been here since the beginning, thank you, thank you, thank you. I just can't believe how far this car has come. I didn't ever really think I was going to be wide bodying it, and really this video, it goes out to Kevin, my friend Kevin. He's out in Oklahoma now. It's been a little while since I've seen him, but he inspired me to do a lot of this. He helped me with the vertical doors, and he actually was a person who got me the wide body kit initially. So the front fenders, he got me, and I went with the Rocket Bunny rear fenders. So Kevin, thank you so much, man. I know it's been a little over a year. I really wish you were here to, have been here while we're putting on the wide body, but this goes out to you. This is dedicated to you. Miss you, buddy. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next video. Peace.